Barclays Bank has said it will delay the planned closure of accounts operated by Somalia money transfer company Dahabshil until the end of September. The bank has faced increasing pressure in recent times from various humanitarian bodies like Oxfam, CARE and other aid agencies. They maintain the accounts provide a lifeline to millions of Somalis who depend on remittances to survive. Barclays Bank had planned to close the accounts used by Somali transfer firms in the United Kingdom on Tuesday. The bank fears that the funds might end up in the hands of groups branded as terrorists such as the Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab. The bank said on Monday afternoon it would postpone the closure of the account until September the 30th, a delay Oxfam has said amounted to no more than a short stay of execution. Well, China and Somalia are working to rekindle diplomatic and economic relations following a new reconstruction deal signed in Mogadishu between the Somali Federal Administration and Chinese officials. The deal, which is part of a 5-year reconstruction plan to be facilitated by the Chinese government to help in the recovery in Somalia, involves the reconstruction of the Banadir Hospital, that is the country's biggest referral facility, the revival of Mogadishu Stadium and the National Theatre. Recently, Somali's Foreign Minister Fawzia Haji Adam led a delegation of Somali ministers on a special visit to Beijing. The construction of the Chinese embassy in Mogadishu is expected to begin soon. The Chinese will also assist in the rebuilding of the highway between Galkayo and Brau in the north of Somalia.
China and Somalia have shared very strong ties since we established our diplomatic relations in 1960. And Somalia is the first country which established diplomatic relationship with China in East Africa. So we are very good friends, and China is ready to contribute its own share for the national reconstruction of Somalia. And China is a good friend of Somalia, and we will do our best for your economic development and the livelihood of the peoples.
This is their first arrival. They will see the land where they will establish their embassy. They will refurbish the Banadir Hospital, the Mogadishu Stadium, and reconstruct the National Theatre. They have promised us other big projects which we signed with them.
To South Africa's expanding wine industry now, where it is not all doom and gloom in South Africa, where South African wine producers have set their eyes on capturing a burgeoning middle class as the traditional customer base. The upper class white market dries up or becomes saturated. Recently, hundreds of winemakers from Cape Town traveled to Johannesburg's Soweto Township to showcase their wines to a new class of young black wine drinkers. CCTV's Peter Wakaba with the story.
There are a handful of black-owned vineyards in the $3 billion a year industry in South Africa, but the number is expected to increase as the government tries to change apartheid laws that forced blacks off the land and into slave-like work at farms. The dominant trend has been white-owned farms with mostly white consumers, but slowly this is changing, and South African blacks are becoming the new target for wine producers.
The white market, which is called the traditional market, is saturated because you get new brands or new producers every day, but you don't get new consumers every day, So we are referred to as the main market, because we have the numbers, So the only way to grow the market is to focus on the black market.
It is for this reason that wine connoisseurs gathered at the opening night of the annual Soweto Wine Festival held recently in South Africa. The festival has seen attendance grow along with the number of black winemakers and exhibitors. Last year, organizers say there were about 8,000 visitors.
It's exciting because the festivals, you can see they get bigger and bigger every year. So you can see black people are becoming more inclined to learning more about wine, not just consuming wine. And that's beautiful. Numbers don't lie.
This is the market that's growing. It's the market that's also expressive in terms of its taste. They're not, they're not stuck to old ways. They're willing to try new boundaries of taste. And we're extremely excited to be able to participate in the growth of this market.
The black population is growing at a robust pace, and as their economic position improves, the increasingly disposable income is very attractive to marketers. The consumers themselves have increasingly become more knowledgeable about wine in their own right.
I think more than anything, what caught my eye is the name itself. So because, you know, you'd expect French, you'd expect English names and all those kind of things. I mean, when you see Sesfile, it's something quite different and catchy.
Organizers say festivals like these are a good platform to educate new wine drinkers about the drink, adding that 35% of the attendees learned about wine for the first time at the show. Exhibitors also bring in their high-end range to try and impress the wine connoisseurs, who started by drinking sweet wines and are now moving into more matured varieties. Peter Wakaba, CCTV.
Let's now take a look at how the markets performed in early morning trade across the continent. The market in Nigeria was down 0.10%. The Johannesburg Stock Exchange all share down south was up 0.99%. The Nairobi Securities Exchange 20-share index in Nairobi up 0.30%, and the EGX in Egypt was off to a slow start, flatlining in early trade.